Yes, you can start.
सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतः चार्थेष्वभिज्ञं स्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकम् सत्यं परं धीमहि सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
Namaste everyone. Let me share the screen. Are you all able to see the book? Yeah. Over to Aarti and Bala. Last time you both took the session, no? Hello, Aarti, Bala.
Yeah. I think we had covered all this, right, Aarti?
Yeah, that's all.
Gandharva Nagari, yeah, we did this.
Do you want to tell the story?
It's over, right? Yeah, we
We
completed.
finished the chapter. We are getting into Brahma Vidya. Yeah.
Would you like to start the reading?
Yeah. To give a context, it is, we are looking at the, we saw the Vritrasura. So Parikshit had the question, how come, Vritrasura, who was born as such a, huge Asura to kill Indradeva, towards the end, we saw him, as a highest devotee of Bhagavan. Okay, and he was completely in, do you? So Parikshit questions, how is it that, so much of devotion in Vritrasura, where did he? So for that, Sutta Muni is giving us the story of King Chitraketu. So how it is connected, we will see. So King Chitraketu, I think we have elaborately dealt with the Janma and how the body takes, birth, all that, and how we are so in the delusion that I am just this body, and because of that, there is so much fear, attachment. I think we discussed a lot about attachment, and if we even know intellectually that we are not this body, forget realization, even this first step of just knowing we are not the body and acknowledging that there is something much beyond this body. So that itself helps us loosen our grip on that loosens the grip on fear. So attachment brings in a lot of fear, and we saw how sage Angiras and Narada actually gave such wonderful knowledge to King Chitraketu. And after that, now I think he is with the Vairagya, he's now continuing the tapas or something. That's what we will start in the next chapter, right?
Yes. So you both must have covered the dream state and all, Jagrat state, dream state.
Yeah, if you want to add anything, Prabha, go ahead. Yeah.
We can, if you want, we can start from here and then as a continuity and then go to the next chapter too.
Yeah, what I remember with Raghuramji, who was talking about the Avastatraya, the three states, the Jagrat state, the Swapna state, and the sleep state, Nidra state, and of course later goes to Sushupti, which comes in Shastriji's Let Go book also. It's very interesting that in the dream state, whatever it's an inside world. So Jagrat is like the interaction with the outside world, and the dream state, it's like the inside world. So he says that the vasanas which is there in the memory center, from there the projection happens, it seems. So from the dream state, so whatever happens in the dream state is not coincidental, it is somewhere coming from the memory center within each one of us. And from the dream state, you will be doing something very extraordinary things also. So you would find a person who is quite shy and diffident or timid in the external world conversation, but in the dream state you would find them dreaming that how they are, as strong as Hanuman and doing a public speaking and all that. It is like the deepest desires or the tendencies or anything just comes out in the dream state. And also very interesting also is between the Jagrat state and the dream state is, dream state has no mass. Mass means you can find yourself like superhuman strength, like even lifting a mountain, or even shifting from one place to another within a fraction of a second. So there is not much. You can even lift like Hanuman lift a Sanjeevani mountain and come back and save your loud member in distress. So that is the way the dream state has. And the Jagrat state is, there is mass. There is, if you have kept something on the dining table, it will be there there itself. So it is not going to be changing. And also very nicely, I remember is it talks about there is no difference in law in Jagrat state. There is always, I like this, I don't like it. There is always that ragadvesha coming into the picture. There is a lot of that the thoughts which comes out as vak, that is in the words, it comes out in the wakeful state. But in the dream state, you will find it is mostly in the mind projections, and it is not usually that that strong likes and dislikes and all does not come, it seems. So it comes also in Yoga Vashishta book also. So that where Rama asked Vashishta Muni that what is this difference between the Jagrat state and the wakeful state. But it's so interesting that in the Nidra state, it seems, that is the wonderful state where a person is is in the utmost happiness. So where Shastriji says that everyone talks so much about wakeful state, I do this, I do this, I do that. But nobody gives importance to this Nidra state where you actually slide and sleep at least for 8 hours or 6 hours. So why are you not giving importance to that Nidra state? Because in the Nidra state, one is in a very beautiful state of happiness. Because one is in that state of absolute non-doing. So here, where you're in the total deep sleep state, where there is no Nidra, but there is utmost happiness. So where Shastriji says, you should remember that in your Jagrat's waking state also, you are taking the characteristics of the Nidra state, where you are not a non-doer, where you are not in a projection of all the, your raga, dvesha, your likes, I don't like this, I like this, my thoughts, this is my thought, this is my opinion, everything comes in the Jagrat state. But the Nidra state, there is no likes and dislike. That's where he keeps giving an example that in the most deep sleep state, somebody wakes you up and calls you and say that here I've given you a plate of rasgulla, do you want? You will immediately say that what are you talking? Let me just let you sleep off. There is no particular state where you want likes and dislikes. Sometimes you are not in that position at all. So that characteristics of that nidra state should come in the waking state. It's very interesting. So he used to say, don't take Vedantic concepts simply like the books. Why do you need to apply those concepts? So that in day-to-day life, your everlasting happiness will happen, that where your nidra qualities of non-doing, nidra qualities of total contentment, santosha, because that time you're in santosha, that time you're not saying that I want my rasagulla, I want this house, nothing is there for you. Jagrat state only has all those ragadvesha. Nidra does not have. And beyond only the pulsation, that is the prana activity, is happening on in the nidra state. Nothing other activities are going on. So all the other senses are completely, it seems in the bija form. They are in the seed state. They are there, but they are in the seed state. So this is where we need to understand the difference between the three states: the wakeful, the dream. Because people say, yes, some of us put a lot of importance to the dream state, but there is a big concept about how we can understand our dreams and take it forward. There's a dream therapy also, actually. I wish I could do that this thing, but it's a very beautiful subject itself, called dream therapy, where with the dreams, how one can heal the long-lasting past memories and some hurts and all that. So it helps a lot of people, actually, in that way. The Gandharva Nagari, right? They say is written here, right? So in that Gandharva Nagari, you tend to see a lot of interesting things. But what is that projection? By observing that dream state, it helps to heal oneself. Again, that Shastriji says that what is happening in Nidra state is there is no speed in the mind. There is no overly focusing. So you're totally at peace. That peace state is where is important, because that takes us to the Brahman state, which is mentioned here, right? So very beautifully, the Brahmi state kind of a thing.
Another story on this waking state, dream state, and deep sleep state is about the alertness. Being an observer, which Raghuramji was very nicely sharing in another session. It was a very nice Zen story. See, when the Zen story is like, see, we all have an observer, a Sakshi Bhava within us, that Brahmi state, that absolute alertness. And then what happens, I'll just tell you this Zen story about this observer who goes to a teacher. I'm not sure I can tell it exactly, but I'll give you the gist of the story. He goes to a teacher and he says, I want to be your student. So the teacher says, okay, so you just have to be alert at all point in time. That is your only lesson. So then he says, okay, and he sits and he's doing meditation, and the teacher comes and hits him on the back with a stick. Okay, so now this guy says, why are you hitting me? Again, every day he comes and hits him. Every time he is meditating, he comes and he's hitting him. And he says, no, but you're not alert. You should know. When you are absolutely alert, even before that, I'm going to hit you, you will know. That is the level of alertness of everything. Your senses don't have to be, you don't have to engage with your senses. You know everything that is happening around you. And he hits him. So finally, this guy slowly gains control and he becomes alert and he's hitting. Now, whenever he's coming to hit, he's able to catch it immediately, the stick, and he's becoming that alert. So he said, so now, and every blow, for some time he was getting a few blows, few times he was catching it, and slowly his alertness became better, and then he was able to catch every blow. So I said, now I am very alert. So he says, okay, then let us see. And now when this guy is sleeping, he comes and hits him. So this guy is like in sleep also, that alertness. What happens is, in the sleep, all our senses, we are feeling absolutely that state of, we touch our Anandamaya Kosha, the Ananda within us. We touch that Anandamaya Kosha. But the difference between the sleep state and a Yoga Nidra is that in a sleep state, we also forget ourselves also. The I also is not there at that point in time. I forget. But in a Yoga Nidra, that absolute alertness is there, and yet we are in touch with that Ananda within the Anandamaya Kosha within. So then he goes, and every time he's sleeping, this teacher is coming and hitting him, and he's full of bruises. And so then this guy, this student, he takes a stick and he goes to the teacher and he tries to hit the teacher. The teacher is catching it every moment. So then slowly, then he is also getting that control. And so even that is like total vigilance. Whether you are in the waking state, whether you are in the dream state, whether you are in the deep sleep state, there is that absolute alertness within us at every point in time. And that Ananda, whether we are in the, like what Prabha said, the Ananda we feel in the deep sleep state, we feel in the waking state as well. The alertness we feel in the waking state, we feel in the deep sleep state as well.
So that is what Upanishads call as Bhagwan, the substratum. It is like, this substratum is there, right? So that substratum activities are happening. Patanjali calls even Nidra as one vritti only. It is a very, very long vritti. So it is like the thinking coming to a standstill, like that. So the substratum is there. One block waker, one block dreamer, one block deep sleeper. And this awareness substratum, you call it self, Bhagavan, Ishvara, all the names are given. Paramatma, Atma, everything. So when the dimension slips to the substratum, it is only Bhagavan who is there. Right now, the dimension I am in is in this waker. I'm identifying with a wrong identity, a waker, right? And then dreaming, a dreamer, well, see, if we really think through, a dreamer doesn't have any idea of the waker. It is a separate compartment altogether. And I identify as a dreamer. And in dream, say I'm dreaming Aarti, Prabha, all of us are maybe in Rangashankara Cafe. So if that dream is happening, it is only me who has projected as Aarti, who has projected as Prabha, and me also. Okay. And in the dream, I identify only with myself. I do not identify with Aarti and Prabha. Yet, we know that it is not the Aarti in the waking, Aarti, Prabha in the waking that I have projected. That is what it is called as Gandharva Nagari. Right? It is the substratum. It is that self which is projecting in this compartment too. Yes, it is happening. But in the dream, I am identifying as a dreamer. Similarly, in the waking also, same thing happens. It is the substratum which is projecting all different characters, whatever. And I am identifying as one particular thing in that. Because I have a boundary, my intellect thinks when this body boundary is there, only this much is me. That is why Bhagavatam again and again and again says, this is not me. Identity with the body is the first thing that we need to re-educate, unlearn our intellect and re-educate and keep telling, keep telling, keep telling. That's all we can do. And we will see how beautifully that substratum takes over. I think it is a good idea, Aarti, to show that Mandukya, you have that, right? The
I'll
slide.
bring
It
it up.
will
I'll
be
bring
very
it up.
nice too. So that they see that Om, which is pervading all the states.
I'll bring it.
We have seen this before, but it's a good thing to, all these things I think we need to keep. So Mandukya Upanishad talks about only Avastatraya, the 3 states, and it happens every day. In fact, deep sleep, they say, is the glimpse of that substratum itself. It's just that as a waker, I don't recognize the deep sleep. That's all, because I am so identified with one small compartment. I am not aware of the other 2 compartments. When the awareness, the more and more, that is why all the upasana, the devotion, or all meditation, what it all does is slips the dimension to the substrate. Slowly thoughts about me and myself stops, and the mind just slips to the truth, to the substratum which pervades all the states.
Okay. So this is how it works. Oh. So according to the so now here in the Mandukya Upanishad, the syllable Om is equated to Bhagwan. Om. And Om is split into A, U, M. A, U, M. A and U together become O. Right? So A, U, M. Now A is the waking state. U is the dream state. And M is the deep sleep state. So now here we are going to look at this. What we are looking at right now is the micro. But the Mandukya Upanishad talks about the macro as well. For now, I will first stick to the micro, which is the individual consciousness. There is the Jivatma and then there is the universal Bhagavan also. So I'll stick to the micro here as of now. So there is the waking state, the dream state, the deep sleep state, and then there is this Turiya. But we have to understand, if you see this, all this is in blue color, whereas this Turiya is all in white all around, all through. The Turiya is there in the waking state, in the dream state, and in the deep sleep state. So in the waking state, this Turiya is, now let's just do this. So with the Om, we can understand how this works. So let us chant Om, and then let us pause in the silence. In the silence, there will be only an experience of Bhagwan in the emptiness. That self, that observer, that Sakshi, Krishna as the Sakshi Bhava. Okay, so we will chant Om and we will observe Bhagwan as the Sakshi Bhava within us in the silence. Let us just try that. Now experience the silence. Who is it that is experiencing this silence? I am experiencing this silence. that Sakshi Bhava, that awareness, that Prajnana, that Bhagwan in me, who is shining through me as my witness consciousness, is observing that silence. Let us be aware of that Bhagwan who is witnessing this silence. Let us chant Om one more time. Om. Observe the observer. Now this observer is there through the Om and through the silence. Let's chant Om again. Om. Who is observing that Om? That observer is there through the silence and through the chant of the Om. Om is represented through A, O, the waking state, the dream state, and the deep sleep state. So this observer is there through the waking state, through the dream state, and through the deep sleep state, and in the absence of all these states as well. It is that Bhagwan who is shining through the waking state, and hence we are able to see the world. In our waking state, he shines through our mind and our senses. In the waking state, the five senses are engaged and the mind is also engaged when we are in the waking state. And only because the Bhagwan's consciousness is that Chit Shakti is shining through our senses and the mind are we able to observe the world. In our dream state, the five senses are not engaged. Only the mind is engaged. It is the same Sakshi Bhava, the consciousness of the Supreme, which shines through us as the witness consciousness, which is shining through the mind, which throws light on the dream that I am dreaming. I am conscious of my dream. Many times you will see that you know that in the dream you are completely in with the dream, and there are times when you see that in the dream I also realize that this is a dream and I am observing this dream sometimes, and then you wake up and you realize, oh, that was a dream. So who was it that was dreaming, and who is it that has woken up? It is the same me, and they were just different states of the mind, the dream. That in the dream only the mind was engaged, and in the waking state the mind and the sense organs are engaged, and in the deep sleep state neither the mind nor the five senses are engaged, but the consciousness, the Supreme Bhagwan, is still shining through. And that is why when I wake up, I say, I had a deep sleep. Who is it that knew that you had a deep sleep when you woke up? So there is a continuity of that observation that is there, that observer is there. The Bhagwan is constantly shining through us. And hence when we wake up, we say, I had a deep sleep. I had a good sleep. Or if I did not touch the deep sleep state, I say, I don't feel fulfilled because I didn't touch the Anandamaya Kosha enough. I don't think I slept well enough. I am aware of my deep sleep. I am aware of my dream state. I am aware of my waking state. And it is that awareness, which is the consciousness of Bhagwan, that is shining through us. And hence this world, this dream, and my deep sleeps is revealed to me. I'll not go into the Vishwa right now. I think this is relevant for us. I hope you were able to appreciate the 3 states here.
So Sage Angiras had given this knowledge and enabled Chitraketu to get that glimpse of that awareness. He slid to that substratum. The moment that is there, it is like waking up from the dream. I would have gotten hurt so much in the dream and I might be in deep pain, right? A beautiful example that Bhagwan says, say I'm in a deep pain and maybe I'm sleeping next to Aarti and I am asking Aarti, help me, my hand, it's paining. Yes. What would Aarti do? Will she take me to I'm saying, oh, it is paining too much. I've got an accident. You have to take me to the doctor. I'm shouting in dream. Aarti is sleeping next to me. What would she do? She would not take me to she'll just wake me up. So that is what all the gurus, Srimad Bhagavatam does for us. It is trying to wake us up from this, identity as a waker. That's all. All these are there. Some world is there, right? But for me to be identified with this waker is causing all the suffering. So the moment that is loosened, then we will see, then it becomes a Leela, says Raghuramji always, right? Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says that. Then it becomes a Leela. Until then, I say, I'm suffering. So after I wake up from the dream, I say, oh, that was a dream, okay. So it's the same thing is what Angiras has told here to Chitraketu.
So it is like when I am the observer, I have complete freedom. Okay. And on the role, on the stage, I can become Ravana. When I become Ravana, I become Raudrakara. I'm playing the role, I'm doing whatever. But inside, I know I am Aarti only. I'm not Aarti. In the sense, I know that I am not that Ravana. I know who I am really. But there I have to be. And then when I am playing that role, everybody is hating that Ravana. I'm playing that so well with complete involvement. And the same observer then can become Rama. So, and everybody is like, oh, such a divine character is feeling, is absolutely involved with that character. Okay, at all point in time. We can even take other roles of a mother, of a father, of whatever we play. We play it with absolute involvement. But we are always remembering who is that which is shining through all of this. The I, the self. It is the presence of the self which is the substratum for this role.
So that's beautiful sentence here. See, the chain of the bondage was snapped.
The bondage that I am that role.
Yes. This.
I am this, because of our, the engagement of our eyes and this body is so gross. Yeah. We really feel this is, our attachment is so strong with this. We feel everything is so real. Because I can smell, I can hear, I can see, I can touch, I can feel everything. It feels so real. But this is also not real, is what it says.
A beautiful shloka, which always Nuchu Swami is, I think it is one of, so it is there in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Nasate vidyato bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha. The one that is real is not seen. That is seen is not real.
Not real.
This is a mantra that we must, have it in our mind. Because it is only an appearance. We say it is appearing only. Oh, how did you appear from nowhere? We say it. We all know, even the words, the language we use is also like that only. We say it is only appearing, right? We don't say, then how am I adding reality to it? When I add reality, that is when fear sets in. Okay. So this is a beautiful, this is the heart of Bhagavad Gita, says Mathur Swami. So we need, that needs a lot of mananam. It's just chanting it always gives us so much freedom. Like,
Like the water vapor. Okay.
Hmm.
It is one state. And then that water vapor turns into water. So the water vapor is a very, very subtle state, and then it turns into water, and then that water turns into ice. The ice is like the body, it is the grossified state. The water is like our mind, which is the subtle state, and the water vapor is like our vasanas, even subtler than that. But all of this exists in the space, in the consciousness. The space is inside in the consciousness, right? The space is in his, his chit shakti. It is all in that. So, like that, this body is nothing but grossified vasanas, which has taken shape. And the only way to really, really lose our attachment to this body is to gain, slowly, slowly work on subliming our vasanas. Subliming our vasanas. So as we lose, the vasanas will bring up desires. As I slowly, slowly practice vairagya on the desires and choose my desires and are not enslaved by this thing, this body consciousness is also slowly, slowly gets detached. Body attachment, rather, will get sublimed. King Chitraketu reached the banks of the river Yamuna. Having bathed in its holy waters, he sat down in meditation. He thought of the two rishis, and invoking them mentally, he saluted them with his mind. Narada appeared before him, and he was accompanied by Angirasa. They taught the king the mantra which they had promised, the mantra which would help him to reach the presence of Adishesha. They blessed the king and went away. I'm just wondering about the presence of Adishesha here. Okay, probably. The king, the mantra which they had promised, the mantra which would help him to reach the presence of Adishesha. Chitraketu repeated the mantra for 7 days and 7 nights. His food was water and nothing else. On the 7th night, he became a Vidyadhara. His mind had now become clear and bright. In a few days, he reached the presence of the seer, Adisesha, which is said to be the other form of the Lord. Pleased with the praises of the king, Adishesha said, I am very pleased with your devotion. Narada and Angirasa have asked you to come to me for knowledge. I will teach you the Brahma Vidya, which will clear your... Can you go down? Which will clear your mind and rid you forever of the veil called Maya. This entire universe is pervaded by me. I am the seer, the seen, and the process of seeing. I think we'll stop here. So when we say, I am the seer, the seen, and the process of seeing, we'll come back to our usual Drishya Viveka here, the seer and the seen. So I see the phone. My eyes are seeing the phone. So the phone is the seen and my eyes are the seer. How do I know that it is the eyes which are seeing the phone? My mind knows that it is the eyes which are seeing the objects around me. So now what is happening? The mind becomes the seer and the eye becomes the seen. The mind is observing the eye which is seeing the world. So the mind becomes the seen. Now, what is it in me that knows that it is the mind which sees, the eyes which is seeing the world? That beyond the mind is the consciousness. I am aware. When I am silent, I know there is nothing, and I close my eyes, I know there is nothing. When I open my eyes, I can see objects. When I close my eyes, I don't see objects. Now open your eyes and see the object that is there, probably your computer or your phone. Now close your eyes. Bring up the object in your mind, that phone or laptop, and then put it down. Through all of this, you are conscious of the phone in the mind, of the phone outside, as seen by your eyes. Who is that who knows? So who is aware of what is happening in the mind and the eyes? It is that seer, which is the consciousness, is the seer of the mind now. So the consciousness or awareness is the seer and the mind is the seen. Now, when the consciousness is the who is aware, that it is the consciousness which is aware of the mind and the sense organs. It knows itself. The consciousness, that supreme seer, is the seer. It sees itself and hence it is the seen also. And it is seeing and hence it is the process of seeing also. Confusion. The eye is seeing the object. The mind is seeing the eyes. The consciousness is seeing the mind. The consciousness is seeing itself also. The consciousness is the knower of itself. It is the knower. It is the object that is known. And it is the process of knowing also. Okay? Everything. That
So,
process of
What of
knowing can be confusing at this
easy
point.
example is the dream again.
Yeah.
Take the dream, right? It's the same thing. A dream is showing us the same thing, which is actually happening every moment. The consciousness has the freedom. That is how they say, right? The consciousness, out of its own freedom, very beautifully Raghuramji says, consciousness is freedom. Out of its freedom, it chooses to become two. Then it chooses to become multiple things. And whenever everything comes together, again, consciousness experiences itself. So the process is also, the entire life process is also consciousness. Whatever it is projecting, it is like in the dream, right? Say one vasana, it wants some desire to get manifested, right? So it is the consciousness which is working for some vasana, and all the characters in the dream is the same, and the dreamer is the same. Everyone is one only, right?
It
The
is
dream
all in my
also,
mind screen. It's all in happening
all.
in the screen of my consciousness only. It's not happening outside.
Yeah, nothing. So it's the same thing outside also. Okay, so the very beautifully, that's a, I don't know, I don't know the shloka by heart. Dakshinamurti Stotra, it says very beautifully, it is just like a lamp in a pot which has holes. It is so beautiful. Our rishis give us examples so that we can, so like that. And it is not the hole which is giving out the light, or it is not because of the, okay, it is the consciousness inside the pot sees through the, the light, sorry, the light inside the pot travels through the hole in the pot. Similarly, it is the consciousness within, okay, okay, we'll take it like that only. It's a consciousness within which desires to see, it puts a hole and as becomes the eyes and sees. The consciousness within desires to hear, it puts a hole, becomes ears, and so everything, this is what they say as Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma. Okay, so the first step is to withdraw and say Neti Neti, what Aarti took us to through steps, right? This is not, this is not, this is not, and know the ultimate seer. So the moment we slip to the ultimate seer, see, then it is known that it's only that seer which is there. So that is what he's bringing here. Brahmadhi Vidya, he says, seer, seen. So there is no space, no? Everywhere it is only him. Everything, it's only Bhagavan. We say consciousness, we say, I like to see only Bhagavan. So I will say Bhagavan. I'm the seer, the seen, the seeing, everything's just Sarvam Krishnamaya, over. That's all. It desires to see and it is enjoying doing something. So a very nice way of letting go some of our, anxieties or whatever is okay. Inside, you have decided to do this. You have decided to think. You are thinking. You are doing. It's a very powerful practice, which works. Then that detachment happens automatically. That is.
I was just thinking of one, just a day-to-day example. For example, if you have a classroom and you have a lot of students there and a teacher is sitting, the teacher is now looking at the children. So now we see that the teacher is the seer and the seen is the children. Now in that classroom, there seems to be a CCTV camera. So the CCTV camera is looking at the teacher, okay, watching the teacher. So now the CCTV camera becomes a seer and the scene becomes the teacher. Now this CCTV camera is gone to the principal's room. The principal is actually seeing through the CCTV camera. So basically the principal is the main person, like the consciousness, like you said, who's seeing the teacher, the children, knows that this CCTV camera is there to view everything. So basically the principal becomes the seer also. Principal knows that I am the principal also. So it's also a knower. Is also the seer. And also knows that, what I'm seeing also, what I'm wanting, what I'm choosing to see. I'm choosing to see the teacher. I'm choosing to see, the principal chooses to see the children. The principal chooses to not see. The principal has total freedom to on the CCTV or off the CCTV. So absolutely the freedom is there in the principal. That is the consciousness level. But the freedom is not there for the teacher or for the children. And CCTV also can only focus on this. So all has their focus levels. But the principle has a level of absolute diffusion, defocusing, absolute being there without having any worry, because the principle has a total freedom to see anything that he or she wants. So,
very nice example.
So to
Power
put it,
of
apply
choice.
this practically, right?
Is somebody
Apply this.
unmuted and spoke something? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I said power of choice. Consciousness is power of choice.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So now everything. So now, so you're just sitting observer. Nothing is happening. Suddenly, one hunger will come. One in the stomach. Okay, and you can smell food. So now you are aware of the hunger. You are aware through your senses of the smell of the food. Now, if that food is given to the stomach, there will be joy. But if you eat too much food, there will be pain. That choice, should I eat now? Should I eat later? Should I eat? How much should I eat? Here comes, when you are an observer, you have that power of choice. Okay, the hunger is asking me, but right now it's not the right time for me. After 1 hour only, I will eat. Maybe something. Or today I am fasting. I have prepared everything for my people, but I am fasting. So I am choosing not to eat today. Let the hunger be there. Nothing will happen. I am choosing to be with myself. To not. So that power of choice is there as an observer. When I become that Sakshi Bhava, when that Bhagwan is there. So now, if this observer becomes attached to the hunger, ayo, I'm hungry now, only I want to eat. You will see the children, right? Little bit, they will see some food only. That moment that happens, they'll start saying, I'm hungry. Actually, it is the senses which is asking that. But they'll start saying it is. So they're completely attached with that. But if I am separate, and know that the hunger is also separate from me, the food is also separate from me, I have complete choice. And there's no attachment. Similarly, my child, my whatever, my husband, whatever, they are asking something, whatever. In my attachment, I may feel like I have to do everything, whatever. But if I step back, okay, is this something they can do themselves? Oh, I'm just giving an example. Okay, so then there is a power of choice. Is it needed? Is it not needed? Should I cater to it right now? Or, this is all on the outside, but even inside, suddenly, I feel lazy. I don't want to get up and go and do my work. Then I become an observer. Is this laziness hampering my work? Is this the right time to feel lazy? Should I go and do? What is the consequence? And then I have the power of choice to overcome that laziness and go and do whatever. So every point, Raga Dvesha will come up little. If you start observing that, you will see all the different objects arising in that substratum. And each one can become an attachment. That like and dislike, good and bad, right, wrong, very subtle. But we are getting attached to the world through this good and bad, right and wrong, all of this. Very subtle. If we watch ourselves very slightly, it will come. This is not good for me. I don't like this. I like this. That becomes. If I'm in the observer mode, I have the power of choice to be joyful in any situation, to be present, make this life a gift in every moment. Okay. Seer scene is over. We'll move on. Prabha wants to read.
Since I am both the seer and the seen, the drashta and the drashtam, there is no difference between the two. I invest myself in the object and I enter the frame of the seer. There is no difference between the two. There is, on one hand, the world of objects. On the other, there is the one who enjoys the world of objects. Since both are in reality the same, since both are myself in two different forms, there is no difference between two, because I pervade both. I will elaborate on this theme with a simile of a dream and a dreamer. I'll finish that and then we will discuss it. When he is sleeping, a man sees a world of trees, mountains, and many other objects. It stands to reason that this entire world is created by him all alone by his mind, and it has no existence apart from him. And again, in the dream itself, the man dreams of being awake or of being in some spot other than where he lay down to sleep. So one who is sleeping in a house in Koshala will dream something happening in Gandhara. These are all common experiences of a dreamer. If you shift the viewpoint and consider Atman as the dreamer, then this world becomes something else than what it appears to ordinary man. To one who has realized the Brahman, this world will assume the semblance of a dream. The entire world is created by the dreamer, which is the Atman, as against the other world of dreams created by the sleeping mind of man. And when he wakes up from this dream, meaning when he realizes that he is awakened, the Atman will know that this entire world of objects is only illusion, that is Maya. I hope, is this confusing? Others, please put in chat what is confusing for you put in chat so that it helps us to elaborate it.
Yeah. Now I think it's coming to the Vishwa part of that Mandukya Upanishad thing.
Anyone wants to write anything?
No, someone has told it's confusing.
No, I just thought I will put it because usually this might be confusing for people.
That dream part was very beautifully
Yeah.
given actually. So that's why we see Vishnu in Yoga Nidra. Yeah, he is not dreaming like how we dream. I have no control over my dreams. He is freedom. He chooses his Srishti. So what
He's
he wants.
absolutely, totally vigilant, like that monk when he was
Yes.
sleeping.
Yes.
Like what we talked about the dream state, right? That is, for example, we can shift anywhere we want. Like I can be here, but in my dream I can be in US.
Yeah.
So there is absolutely there, absolutely different. That's what's written here. That is, the man can dream, like how Bala also said, no, in my dream state, so many people will come into my dream state. I will have Bala, I might have the somebody and all might be there in my dream state. And um, and you might be in some other place. You might be in Bangalore, but in your dream state, you might be somewhere else, or you would have dreamt of going somewhere else. But that thing which is there inside, deep inside the Atman, the whole, see how the dream state is. So for the Atman as a dreamer, then this world becomes something else than what it appears to ordinary man. Because the way the Atman is seeing the world is very different. Man is seeing through the senses and all that, and the Atman is seeing, like how Bala told about the lamp. I think it's very beautiful in this way.
Just like, see, yata brahmande, yata pindande, tata brahmande. Okay, yat pindande, tat just we are, like this big laddu, we are that one single moti, and the whole universe is that whole laddu which is bound together by that sugar. Okay, like that. If I am having a deep sleep state, the dream state, and the waking state as an individual consciousness, the supreme consciousness is also having a deep sleep state, dream state, and but the deep sleep state, no, it is not a deep sleep state at the supreme consciousness level. It is the yoga nidra. The yoga nidra, the dream state, and the gross, that is the Vishwa, which is the waking state. In the waking state, everything looks, so you may ask, okay, if I am dreaming anything, then how is this world looking the same to all of us?
Yeah, thinking it is looking the same.
But in a way, there are trees, there are this thing, what you see and what I see is the same. That is the projection of the supreme reality. And we are in his projection. We are all in his life, that creation. This whole thing is a big projection of the Supreme, in which we are one little part. Like in my dream, Prabha can come, Bala can come. In all of this is his projection. It's like, yeah. So the world that we see is his gross projection, which is the body, the waking state. And then there are subtler things in his dream state and all, and the yoga nidra. So yata brahmande tata pindande, and that is what it goes. The entire world is created by the dreamer, which is the Atman. So even the supreme reality is the dreamer, which is the Atman, as against the other worlds of dreams created by the sleeping mind of man. At an individual level, I have my own dream, and you will know we will never see anything that we don't see in the world outside, in our dream. In our dream, we cannot conjure up something that is not there in the world outside that we see. And the world outside that we see, we don't see it outside. We are actually seeing it only in our mind, but because our senses are engaged, we feel we are seeing it outside. We are hearing it outside, but in reality, every experience of the world is happening in my own mind screen. It is falling through my eyes, optical nerves are taking it, I hear the sound inside me. Visual is coming, taste, olfactory, everything is happening only in my mind. But because of the engagement of the eyes, we feel like everything is outside. So there is a world outside, and then there is a world inside. But in reality, everything is happening within this framework only. This class is also happening in my mind only.
That is why each one of us absorb however our mind frame is. Yeah, what is that? Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari says the entire Vishwam is not this what we study in science, the objectified, that is not me. Vishwam is what I perceive. That is completely the reflection of what is within, of the self. The self is reflected. The self within reflects as Vishwam.
This Brahma Vidya is very deep. Huh? This is one
Yeah.
portion which is like very, very deep.
There is a
And we
movie
also
called,
understand how beautifully this is connected to the Upanishads and connected to the, so they are not, it is not just a bunch of stories. They are bringing out that in a story form so beautifully, subtly, that message of the Upanishads.
see, Maya also is written, no, what you think it is, but it is actually not, is Maya.
Yeah.
So
I think the world is real, but actually that world is only a dream in my own mind. So if it is happening in my mind, it is happening in it's another dream state in my mind only, no? Just because my senses are engaged, I am feeling that it is real, but in reality, it is only in the dream state again. I just have to wake up and know that, oh, this is only in my mind. It is not reality, whatever is happening.
there is a movie, I think every one of us can watch. If maybe some of you might have watched, but I think this is a good time to watch it again. There's a movie called Inception, which is all about dream. But actually, I remember Vedantics talking about it. When you look at it in that way, it's about a dream, a person who dreams, and then that is another dream. It's just like that. It keeps going. Something very interesting.
Dream in a dream in a dream. They go to 7 levels of dreams inside.
Yes.
And they keep waking up from one level of dream, something like that.
I remember Raghuramji talking about it a long time ago when somebody asked it out. Maybe we should again talk to him about it.
In fact, when we are talking about giving reality to the world, because my senses are involved. Okay, take these 3D, not just 3D. Nowadays we have 5D, 7D, where we feel, right? If there is some wind in the movie, we feel the wind. If we are walking in the forest, we feel. And they say later, even actors may come and talk to us. We will be able to touch the characters. So what will happen at that time? First, maybe, when we are reading Bhagavatam, we have to say, okay, that is not real. Just because you are able to touch that character, we cannot say. So that itself proves that just because I touch something, okay, just because I taste something, just because I feel this body, basically, I should not even say maybe this body is able to taste and feel all that, doesn't mean that is real. Okay, something is happening like a movie.
No, it's very interesting when you said about that. I remember there are some people who are very practical minded when they watch a movie. I've seen that. Once I asked a person, like, because I get very carried away with movies, emotions, and I asked her, like, how do you ensure that, when you're watching some very highly emotional scenes or whatever it is, how come you're not affected? Then she was saying that I keep telling in my mind, this is not real. This is not real. Not real. When I keep telling it, where am I going to be involved?
And
Because
we will
the
start
problem is
directing the movie. We will get so involved. Why did he do that? He should not have done that. How could he treat her like that? This is so wrong. It's like they become real characters for us. And in these days, we are getting that virtual something, no, the eyes,
The glasses,
when they play the games also with that. So when they play for many hours, they feel that is real and this world is not real.
Yeah.
It's like getting into another level of matrix, so to say. Okay, it's another level of that matrix that we are already into 3 levels. Now that is like putting ourselves into 4th level of matrix.
That's why each time we have to remember the Swami Vivekananda's statement, Uttishta Bharata. Each time, come on. Like I think Sanatana Gurukulam had that very nice theme last year. Very important. Arise, awake, man. So it's important that whenever you think that we are getting involved and entangled and getting nicely, getting into that ball of wool and fully getting caught there, each time remember, they know what, this is not real. This is not real. This is not real. So it really helps us when immediately we step back. That stepping back, every one of you will be thinking, "Arey, this is all so much is there. How can I apply it in life?" The application starting with bringing awareness, the awareness that this is not real, and bringing an awareness of Sakshi Bhava. Let me step back and observe what's happening. That could be a beautiful first step for all of us. That itself will bring about a lot of beautiful changes. We will no longer sit and daydream also. There is a daydream and night dream also. So we will not.
That daydream is also happening in that dream state only. That is also a dream state. So to always say when something is, I am disturbed, we keep focusing on the disturbed. I am very disturbed. This is happening. And then when we see the disturbed, we project the disturbance on the outside world. We think this person did this, so I am disturbed. This person did this. But in reality, you just go back and say, who is disturbed? I. Oh, but I can never be disturbed. The I is always peaceful. It's Satchit Ananda. If it is only an observer can never become. Only when an observer becomes the emotion, then that. But observer is just observing. So they say, okay, shift the attention from the disturbed to the who is the one going through this disturbance. I. Oh, so the I, but I am peaceful. I am supposed to be peaceful. I am supposed to be Satchitananda. So I am not disturbed. There is a disturbance, but I am not disturbed. When that comes, slowly this disturbance falls off.
It is said that it is a lot of practice, but it is possible when we hold on to feet of Bhagavan also. It is like how something is happening in a tree. Say there is a tree and I see the tree. Just like that, when things are happening in this body and mind. It is the same. It is Mother Nature working like that. Okay, that is how Jivan Muktas saw, right? That is what is the shift, the viewpoint that he's talking about.
The fruit falling
Those
off.
who have, yeah, those who realize that Brahman, they see for them a tree or another body, there is no difference between that and their own body. There's nothing like their own body. So it is all happening in nature or Prakriti, however, some functioning is happening, which right now I have no clue because I'm so attached to this. Seeing that this world itself, the way viewpoint is very different. So for that Brahmistiti, the one who is in that Brahmistiti, it is like that dream. There is everything is that they are the silent observer, but full of life. I mean, they are the only sentient, not the because there is a risk. The moment we say silent observer, we may think it is something jata. No, that is the sentient thing. The rest all are just jata.
In that silent observer, there's just vibration, reverberation. It's
Yes.
absolute charge.
Like a very powerful magnet.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll close the session. Remember Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is a wonderful book, especially at the time that, it focuses so much on death and attachment and those kind of things, right? And it is also being told to Parikshit at the time he has just 7 days. If we have older people in the house, if we have anybody like that, the Bhagavatam, even for us, who knows what is awaiting. We have to keep working on our own detachment so that from this age, so that when we become old, it doesn't, daunt us in a way. Every moment a cell is dying, every moment a new body is forming. Om Asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. May we move from untruth to truth, from ignorance to knowledge, from immortality to mortality. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayah. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschid dukkha bad bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Thank you.